Hello, I want to invite you to my backyard patio this afternoon for a little bit of show and tell. So, during this pandemic, there have been several things that I have not liked about having to stay closer to home. But one of the things that I have really enjoyed is the ability to putz around in my backyard garden and work to make these beautiful flowers possible. It's been a lot of fun not only to have beautiful flowers coming into bloom now, but also some things in the garden as well, some vegetables to eat. But today, what I really want to tell you about as we are out here on the patio is a story of the lily. A couple of years ago, I believe 2 years ago, for our Easter sunrise service at Colby United Methodist Church, we went down to Manchester Park on Puget Sound, as usual, as is the tradition of our church, for our sunrise service. And I always like to do something a little bit unique at the sunrise service, whether it be a skit or hands on experiential teaching. So that particular year, I went to the garden shop the week before Easter and I picked up some bulbs for lilies. And I talked about those bulbs that morning and had them laid out on the table. And, you know, bulbs for flowers really look pretty dead when you plant them in the ground. And that morning I showed these bulbs as an illustration of Jesus being placed in the tomb. And as the women went to the tomb that morning, they never expected that they would find Jesus alive, but yet they did. And the lily bulb reminds me of Jesus' resurrection. A bulb that looks dead when you put it in the ground, but yet in the springtime the plant comes up, and in due time it bursts into bloom full of life. These are starburst lilies, and they are gracing our backyard with their beauty this week. It was really a wonderful example of God's magnificent creation. These lilies also give me hope for this time that our churches are closed in the physical sense. We may not be in our building, but we are still doing ministry. And our annual conference, the Pacific Northwest Annual Conference, has really encouraged us to use this time to reimagine what our churches might be like in the future. In some ways, this is a very frustrating time to not be able to do the things that we've always done. But it is a time of opportunity also to imagine, to think about what we might be as in due time we come back to our buildings and perhaps resume some of the ministries that we've done in the past, but also consider new ministries that we might be able to embark upon. So today, as I look at these lilies, it's an opportunity not simply to enjoy the beauty of the flowers, but it's also a time to imagine and think how God may be using our churches in new and beautiful ways right now and into our future.